Hey guys, it's Queendija, and in today's video, guys, alright, we're gonna talk about this. Yes, so it'll be last night for me, but as of Sunday night, by the time y'all see this, or Sunday afternoon while my ass is at work, it's officially been a couple of days since I have seen Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1. Okay, so regardless, like this number one for a lot of people, anime only, manga readers, a lot of us, this has been a long time coming. And for the last maybe like year and a half, so, or not even a year and a half though, but maybe I would say from the moment the previous season concluded, how it concluded, and the same day it was like, hey, it was announced like, oh hey BTW, we're doing movies, not season such and such and such and such. And guess what? They're all gonna be, it's gonna be a trilogy again. So you're gonna have to wait X amount of years. This was a whirlwind that day for DJ, because I was over here like, God dang. I was like, we're doing this. Now, because mind you, the last time this company did a freaking trilogy movie was Fate UBW. So I had been arguing with myself for months, mind you, if I was going to do one of two things. Either go see this movie, talk about this movie, or wait every probably 2 years, or I was going to wait until the last movie was officially out. And do like I did with Heaven's Feel and watch everything kind of back to back to back. Because like with the Heaven's Feel movie, I was able to watch the first two immediately. But with that last one, I think the wait for the last one, it was like, what, 3 or 4 months for me at that time when I was recording it. So that really wasn't a long wait. But this was crucial. Like, if you could have saw the conversations I was having with myself about this, because I was like, dude, what the hell am I going to do? Because if I don't see this, I'm going to eventually get spoiled. If I don't see this, like, I'm going to be screwed for, like, umpteen years. Like, I'm probably going to be, like, in my, like, okay, we already know how I'm in my early 30s. I was like, I am probably going to be in my late 30s by the time I'll be able to watch all this. And I was like, am I ready for that big of a commitment by waiting until I think 2029 or 2030? And I think once we got closer and closer to the date, I said, you know what, fuck it. I was like, I gotta do this the way I kind of have to and know how, because I was like, if I don't do this, I'm fucked. Like, morally fucked. So I made the decision to go see the film, and I enjoyed it. It was really good. Like I told you guys this morning, because it's still the 12th for me, I wrote a long behind list, because last night was emotional. I will say this, and I'd rather say this now than say this later, getting to see it with people who also love the same thing as you, immensely. Like, fantastic. Love it. 10 out of 10. But it also depends on who your crowd is. How your audience is. My crowd last night was the type of crowd that would cheer at some things, yell at some things and such. But my thing is, this is something a lot of y'all mother effers been waiting for a hot behind minute, including myself. And I was expecting, like, okay, for my other nerdy things, like Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2, but really more Part 2. Freaking Twilight Breaking Dawn, or like the first time when I saw, oh my god, the very first My Hero movie. Almost like not saying that like I wanted it to be like almost like a reaction matchup, like the typical ones that I'm in for any show that currently is airing or has aired in the past, and when I am featured in them. But my audience was good. My audience was hype, but not like some of the audiences I have seen these last few days. India, like, oh my god, they was going nuts. And I was like, God, I really wish I was there in that moment with people. And it's like, this movie is one of those, like, you have to be here. Here comes a dog. You truly have to be there to be immersed into it. For a 2-hour and 35-minute movie, to me, it felt like 4 hours, but not in a bad way, in a good way, because I never truly wanted it to end. Even where it got to a point where I was checking my watch just to see what time it was, because I thought I was getting home at 9:30. You go and get home, it's almost 11 o'clock at night, and mind you, I had to go to work today. But, yeah, overall, if I had to essentially rate everything, honestly, because I overheard a conversation with a guy who was sitting next to me. He said majority of, like, movie critics gave this a 6. After watching it, I'm like, how the hell did y'all give this a 6? I was like, this is a 10. I was like, this felt like a long-ass trailer and such. And from what like, a lot of people are now currently saying is, out of the 3, like, this feels like a trailer for everything else that's going to happen in movie 2, movie 3, and such. And, like, you're like, yes, this is good, but you haven't seen what the heck is coming up next. And I don't know what the heck is coming up next and such. I'm scared. I'm truly scared. Like, I mean, because regardless, I was scared at the end of the previous season because I didn't know what the frick was going on. As an anime only, I'm like, okay, what's happening? And then you see everything go, and you're just like, oh my god, I'm gonna get stressed. So if you could have saw my ass last night, the first, like, couple of minutes, like, just the fact that it, like, it starts right where it left off. Like, I'm kind of going off of, like, what I remember in my notes and stuff. I haven't looked at my notes in a minute, but still. I love the fact that it starts right where it leaves off because, one, good. I was over here sitting... I was sitting with my mom, and I was like, if you have any questions or anything within, like, the first couple of minutes of the film, I don't care. If you want to ask them, ask them. I really don't care. So, now, mind you, my mom has only seen season 1. She's only seen, like, 12 episodes. So, she sits here, and the funny thing is, like, I should have wore the shirt that I wore last night. I had a Mitsuri shirt on that I got from Amazon, and there's a moment where she pops up, and her and Iru-san, like, they pop up. She grabs my shirt, and she's like, oh, that's her! And I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, you kind of goddamn mother. But no, my mom was excited for the amount that she watched and stuff. I mean, the biggest thing is, like, how it was introduced to her was, I love telling this story because this story is so freaking hilarious. The more and more I think about this, it was a random video on TikTok. There was this girl. She was watching Mugen Train at the time, and she's, like, crying. She was crying. Well, regardless, if you know, you know why she was crying. There was a scene where Nezuko, like, I think she's walking somewhere, she stops, and so this girl is crying about one portion, but then I was like, no, she's also crying because Rengoku. And my mom kept asking me, like, why is she crying? And I was like, well, you know, Mom, we're only on episode 12 of the show. We're nowhere near this. I was like, you gotta watch this. Like, I was like, the day we watch this is the day I really need you to, like, comfort me because I don't really want to go through that situation again. And funny enough, I just really rewatched the movie, last month. And if I... if I can find my Snapchat clip, I will literally insert that. It's like, yeah, sad. And stuff. Okay, so, like I said, continued where I left off. Loved it. Like I said, this is a beautiful, once again, beautiful ass film. I mean, Ufotable really, I'll say this. Ufotable did their big one when it came to the Fate trilogy movies, but I felt like they took everything that they like practice, learned, got good as fuck at. And to like they brought their big one into this film. This film is something that I can see, like, number one, if this film is not nominated for like any film by next year or any award shows, like, we all sue him because it deserves all the awards. I mean, if we want to say, I would hate to say it, like, this could be anime of the season, even though it's not a part. Technically it is, but at the same time it's not. I would even put this at like anime of the year for me, because of the fact is, even with everything that I'm like catching up on and stuff, the things that I still have to watch and stuff, hell, Dress Up Darling ish, I'll be doing all that tomorrow, yay! So hopefully by the time, you know, this comes out, all those videos are out and stuff, because don't get me started, because I want to like cuss the hell out of myself right now, but I'm not going to do that. Fights. Hella good. Hella good. I mean, honestly, once again, really comparing it to Fate, just 10 out of 10. Because, I mean, there's this moment, I'm gonna get a little... Okay, until we get into, like, the spoiler portion of this video, I'm just gonna say this one thing. Because I was like, when I watched it, I was like, okay, that reminds me of one portion in Fate, but I was like, I don't know where we're going with this. I don't know what the hell is about to happen. Okay, so at the end of the movie, or there's two parts. So one is the part at the end of the movie, and then there's one, because for like the longest time, you barely really see Muzan. Like, he's gone, or you see him at the beginning of the movie, and then essentially like middle-ish, and then you see him towards the end. And the last time you kind of really see him, I'm like, are we doing what I think we're doing? Like, are we going Gilgamesh up in this bitch? Because, like, he's, mind you, if I can describe this, like, he is absorbing such, he's in, like, this ball, but he seems like he's transforming into something and stuff. And Gilgamesh kind of did something similar to that in UBW, but because I haven't watched UBW, like, in a hot-ass minute, I can't say 100% sure, so I'd have to go back and then be like, no, okay. But no, really, because I was over here like, are we doing what I think? What the fuck is he about to do? Like, I mean, he could kill all y'all, like, in a second. We all about to die by the end of this film. Oh my god. But no. It makes me question a lot of things, because I'm a little scared about what the fuck is about to happen in movie 2 and movie 3, because, like, what if he comes out looking at, like, what if he comes out looking like a Super Saiyan or something, and, like, they can't defeat him? What if they can't defeat him? Like, I need that series to have a happy ending throughout all the tragic moments and, you know, the happy moments and everything. I need a win for my baby. I need a fucking win. We all need a fucking win. I mean, Jesus, because, like, if we could go back to how the hell I was at the end of the previous season, where I was just like, oh my god, like, we got him, and then bing, and I'm just, like, screaming, I want to cry and stuff. Like, that was what the hell is that on my face? That was a hell of an emotional moment for, like, anybody. Like, no, you know what that reminded me of? Remember that one episode from, this is a couple of years ago, like, when Attack on Titan was still airing. It was, I will never forget this moment, because of the fact is how people reacted to it, how I reacted to it, how, I haven't talked to him in a hot minute, how Memory reacted to it. It's literally now, like, one of the funniest moments and stuff. It's the, I think this episode came out maybe a couple of weeks before Halloween, when I was still working at UPS at the time. And one of the episodes of Attack on Titan had, like, a very unique ending. If you all know what I'm talking about, you know what I know. And stuff. And so I remember watching it. And in my video, I was like, what happened? Like, it glitches. And I'm thinking something happened with my computer. And I was like, oh my god. And, like, when you add, like, my video, his video, and then, like, a couple other people, and it had to be Kawaii and maybe one of the other guys too, it's freaking hilarious to sit back and watch and such. But, like, no, like, truly, that's what it felt like. Because I was like, oh my god, damn, I would love to rewatch that. But no, like truly, it's an experience I definitely would love to watch again and love to be in again. Once again, something tells me probably in the next couple of weeks I will, I will like definitely go back and see this movie again. Um, Would I take my mom again? I don't know. I mean, that's an extra nap for her because she had a real good nap last night. Like, if you want to talk about no, okay, hold on. Let's talk about the music real quick. Music, mwah. Like, not even a 10 out of 10, a 1,000 out of 10. Music, like, literally, you know how when you're, God, how do you compare this? When you're watching an orchestral concert and you're in that moment, or how else can I like visualize this? You know how most of these movies are, let's see, oh my god, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, there we go, or yeah, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and the second Spider-Verse movie. You know how some of the movies now, specifically for those two, because we're currently waiting for the third one, they're doing concerts where you're watching the film and you're experiencing the score but orchestrally. I want that. That's what it felt like last night, truly. I felt like I was sitting down in a really nice concert watching this movie on this big ass screen, and I have this like orchestra just playing and going at it. It was you could feel the vibrations and everything. It's truly a once in a lifetime experience where you're so immersed into it, and being in that moment, especially when, number one, like if I want to say like my personal favorite fight, the Tanjiro versus Tanjiro, Gyu, and Akasa fight. That fight. Once again, that fight. We'll get into those spoilers later on, but that fight. Cinematography, music, how everything was conveyed to a T it felt like a drug. Like, and I hate to compare it to that, especially in the field that I am currently working in and such, but it felt like a drug that or a roller coaster you didn't want to get off. Like, you were truly, once again, immersed in that situation. That moment with them, you're cheering. Like, there was a moment where I was like cheering for both sides, even though I guess because he killed Rengoku. But no, once you get into this backstory, you're like, damn, now I understand why you're like this and such, and we'll talk about that. But no, like, I even think for like what Shinobu and Doma's fight. That was good too. I mean, truly, like, I don't know what they doing up in that mother effing company. I really don't know. I would love to be a fly on that wall, like, truly, because it makes me think, especially when I'm watching, like, I'm trying to think of another show besides Fate. Garden of Sinners. That's another one that I can kind of think of on my heart, like, real quick. With that, like, how the hell y'all be doing what y'all doing? Sometimes, what do y'all be smoking? Oh my god! Like, truly, what do y'all be, like, I want to know. Truly. No. Like, what are we doing? Like, my god. And this is the conversation where we have, like, yes, y'all need to be paid more for the shit y'all do, because this movie is a work of freaking art. With everything that freaking happened. Like I said, Gyu, like, the shit that Gyu did. The way the water looked in there, like, oh my god, I was just like, huh. The way he looked, how freaking nice he looked, how Tanjiro looked, how Zenitsu freaking looked, like, oh my god. Just everything about it. And people who, even though like certain characters were only there for like what, 3 or 5 minutes, because the fact is, in this first movie, yes, their importance is not really of the essence. They're not really going to be needed as yet. So they're like, hey, we're gonna insert character, because like something tells me, for an example, I'm gonna use Inosuke. Inosuke really was not in this movie a lot, and that truly surprised me because of the fact is he is such a fan favorite character. And after I came home and I thought about it some more, and I was like, okay, there's got to be a reason why they were like, okay, here's like 5 minutes. You're giving what's his face maybe like 5-10 lines, maybe 15-20 lines, and then he's like, okay, deuces, I'm out. And I'm like, that's a little weird, but maybe it could be because of whatever the hell is happening to manga readers. You can tell me. You can tell me. You can tell me. Just remember, if you ever want to spoil me on anything, put more long ass message. We've talked about this a lot to the read more portion. If you want to say for Deja in 2027, I think the next movie is. This is why such and such happened in this part. For Inosuke, such and such and such and such. For Tanjiro, such and such and such and such. Trying to think. I'm trying to think of a character. No, because I can't say Zenitsu because Zenitsu is currently at a moment where they look like he's going to. I can't say that. Not yet. He looks like he's going to blink and such. Or. I'm trying to think. Nezuko, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Muzen, da-da-da-da-da. Tomoyo, da-da-da-da-da-da. And stuff. Do something like that. So then it keeps me, like, curious, but then I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna, like, truly spoil myself and such. But no, it was just, it was something, like, something. Speak. I'm just like, if you could have just saw me last night after I got out of it, I was so numb to the point that it wasn't even funny because like I come home and I'm just like, bro, like that was an experience, like truly. And like I said, that's why I want to just see it again. I'm happy that I was able to see it in theaters. I mean, pretty colors, pretty, like everything, truly. I really don't even know what to say before we get into the spoiler talk, because once we get into the spoiler talk, it's a completely different video. I might cry. But I would even recommend this to people who have never even seen the show, but I would be like, no, like before you watch this, go watch this. It's to the point that my coworker, like, I'm literally trying to get her to watch this show, but because of the fact is she's like, oh, it's overhyped, and I'm like, girl, just fucking watch it. It's an experience. I mean, her sister just went to go see the movie on today, Friday, duh. And I don't know how her sister felt about it. Probably her sister loved it. I even loved the fact that people came in costume. Like, that was the best thing. I mean, yeah, I was basic and I wore a t-shirt, but if I really wanted to, maybe movie 2 or movie 3, but like truly, because I'm not. We'll start that. We'll save that for the other part. We'll save that for the other part. I don't want to say what I want to say because it's a spoiler. It's a spoiler, but I'm gonna stop right here and yeah, enjoy that spoiler review because I have a lot to say. I'm just going to say right now, you're probably going to see something else in 1 second because I still have to go download this clip that I want to use. So, turn your volume down now. Okay? Turn your volume down because the thing I'm about to say after this clip, because I'm probably going to end up using my phone and just clicking it or just adding it into the video. I don't think y'all are ready for it. Y'all probably know what it is, but turn your volume down. Now, that's all I'm going to say, okay? Alright, bye for now for a second. I changed my mind. I'm not going to scream. So just pretend that I'm currently screaming right now. My voice hurts so much after talking, and I need to go to bed soon, but just think of any other reaction I have done and where I've screamed and cried, and that's how I sounded. So, bye. So, did you enjoy my pain for a good second? Because honestly, I mean, I'm currently laughing right now. I have not done it, but you know, enjoy my pain because I was truly hurting. I truly, even though I'm smiling about it now, but you know, at the moment when that ish happened, all I could do is cry and scream in my head. So first things first, Shinobu is dead. Like I I was flabbergasted. I had feelings. Let's go back to a couple moments ago, or a while back ago, where number one, you know, when that big poster came out, and I'm gonna compare this to Avengers Endgame. With Avengers Endgame, I don't want to talk about this because I'm just gonna cry again. With Avengers Endgame and with that poster, there is a moment like where you see like Tony Stark has like that big. He's like on that poster, big face and everything, and you're over here like, oh my god, like he's probably gonna be like the most important character, or have like this most pivotal moment and such. They did the same thing for Shinobu, and oh god, I have stuff all over. I got this. It's gonna, you're probably not gonna be able to see it because it's like super duper small, but right there, she's right there. Like her head is extremely big, and I'm sitting here like, oh my god, she's gonna have this big. And don't mind, like she does. She really has this like in her final moments. Her badassery was already at 1,000. This girl went like infinity. The fact that the whole entire time since we've met her, and especially how they decided to go back to the one scene that she had with Tanjiro, and you know, where he was asking like, oh hey, you don't look angry, and she's like, oh, in a way I'm always angry and such. And you could tell, like, because every time when you look at any of the Hashira and question so many things before you get like really deep into the backstories and such, you're always wondering like, I wonder what tragic moment happened for this character, that character. And for her, once again, it's losing her sister, especially to someone like Doma esque. But in my opinion, and I hate to say this, like if you time it, it maybe, I don't know, I would have, like I said, this is something that probably if I go sit and watch it again, if I time the portion from where the movie starts to up to the point where she dies, it felt like 30 minutes had passed. So she gets to have all these nice pivotal moments, and then she dies freaking quickly and such. It hurt me when Canal, when she comes in and she's already about to be in her final freaking moments and stuff. And so she can't do anything but help and watch her in these last pivotal moments. Someone still somewhat be like the badass that Shinobu is, but also watch her die. And it's like, oh my god, like that's trauma for the baby, and that's trauma for me. If you could have saw me last freaking night, oh my god, like mind you, being immersive in this. So I'm sitting here, I'm just relaxing. Mind you, there's a blanket in between me and my mom and such. And my mom, I think she was already asleep at the time. And I went like this, and this, and this, and I'm just like, bro, oh my god, like, come on, man, like, again, again, I think this is now, what, the second character Saudi Hayavin has voiced where her character has died, and I'm just like, again, you had to kill her character, again, like, y'all had to hurt me Again, and I can't remember the other character that I liked that she voiced so much that got killed, and I just cried my butt off. Because of the fact that I like the heck out of Sonic Academy and stuff. Y'all know. Y'all fucking know. You know how much I like freaking idolize that woman. Like how she's like one of my favorite seiyus and stuff. But like seriously, I feel like for another reason of Ish, and this could happen in movie 3 or 2 and 3 with her, she could still possibly show up, but just more as a spirit, or like, hey, here's like another moment, almost like Rengoku, because spoiler alert, they still showed Rengoku in like every few minutes, and I was like, bro, like, oh my god, because when he pops up, it got dead silent quiet in my theater, and I was sitting here like, damn, again. I was like, this man don't rest. Like and I get it because everybody values Rengoku oh so much, and they were taught by him. But I was like, god damn, like seriously, truly, bruh. Like seriously, you gotta bring him again. Like, I mean, like, spoiler alert, he's been dead since Boogie Train, and it was just it just, I got it. It was necessary. I understood it, but I was like, damn, like we gotta show him just because he's like it's just like, hey, he's here, give him his pride, his cute little moments, like, or let's see, another moment that I also did like, especially at the beginning with the situation of it kind of starts right where it left off. The last conversation that I can never say his name, so let me go ahead. Gotta start looking at my notes, but I gotta go into what am I looking for? Give me 1 second. Come. Himi Joka? Himi, is that him? Yes. Okay. How the freak you say his name? Himijima. The last conversation between Himijima and the Master, that almost got me to cry. Because of the fact is, once again, he's over here like, use me as bait to lure Muzan in. And it's just like, when you're watching that and you're like, damn, like, yeah, like that's what's gonna happen and such. But at the same time, you're like, damn, you kind of wish there was another way. But in your heart, and I think he knew, and the Master knew, there was no other way around this, that the only way to truly get Muzan in the moment that they all wanted was to use the Master. Because the Master was one of the characters that, especially when he got introduced, that I was like, okay, he's a character that we know he's going to eventually die because of his illness. I just was expecting him to die off screen. That was the one thing I was praying for, because I liked him so much. I thought he was a very interesting character, not only because of who he was voiced by in dub, but I was just like, I really don't want to see him get killed. And the next thing you know, boom, what happens? And I'm never looking at snow the same way again. Fire and snow, hell no. So, once again, picture this moment, mind you, with good ass music and everything. So everybody's falling and such. You're just seeing everything in real time. The way the Infinity Castle just looks, I mean, truly, once again, creativity, that's the word of the day. How it just conveys the quality. I mean, yes, you could tell that they did use CGI in some moments, which I was not mad at. We've had the conversation of good CGI versus bad CGI and stuff. Once again, it was good in my opinion. They used it, I think, in a good, like, to almost like value it in a way. And so I really applaud them for it, because they could have done other companies' routes, but they decided not to, and I really applaud them for that. I mean, even the way like the crows just looked, even 3D, like hella good. Or just there's just one moment where I was just like, okay. I had to like there was a moment where I like held my breath. And this is all during this had to be at the beginning of the film. And it's a moment Tanjiro's falling. He tried to like catch himself, but of course it didn't happen. So here comes freaking best boy Giyu to save the day. Oh my god. And you have the music in the background and my heart drops because they catch each other and they like freaking land and everything, but next thing you know Tanjiro falls and grabs him and throws him down and I'm like, oh my god, Jesus Christ, y'all gonna make me have a freaking heart attack. Or freaking Mitsuri and Iguru, like they're all like she is stretching out for him, trying to grab his hand, and I'm just over here like, oh my god, like please grab her hand, stay close. I do not need anybody to lose each other because like everybody's separated and we're all trying to find each other. And I'm like, the worst thing is we don't want to have a moment like Shinobu because she was by herself and that's how she got killed. She didn't follow the horror movie aspect because technically this is a horror movie in a weird way, even though it's not. But the fact is that she died first still pisses me the F off, even though we were 11 minutes in, because it hurt. She was the one character that especially the first time I saw her freaking Giyu, I was like, I can see y'all and like literally surviving this series no matter how far we go. I think everybody is gonna survive, and I still think that. Y'all better shut up, don't say anything, do not spoil anything. I don't want to know anything about characters dying in movie 2 or 3, okay? No, because I don't, like, here's my big thing, and I'm gonna go back to freaking Heaven's Feel. Do not do me, show. Company, don't do me like you did with Alia, because I was like, oh my god, Alia died. No, fuck it. Alia died in UBW, and then she had a chance in freaking Heaven's Feel. And what did y'all do? Y'all freaking sacrificed the girl again. The girl died again. And it was just like, oh my god, this girl, she can't win. She cannot win. And it hurt so much because it was like, goddamn, like, goddamn. I was like, is there ever a timeline where Alia does not die? I was like, this is a child. Like, that's like, okay. Oh my god. Like, at the end of the day, all these characters are kids. Some are teenagers or some kids. Like, oh my god. Like, I just, and that hurts me because I don't want to see any of them die. I really don't. Like, I can't. I mean, is it gonna, like, okay, no, let me ask it like this. Is it gonna be worse than Shinobu? We're going to 2 or 3. That's all I need to know. Yes, no, maybe. Just don't describe it to me because I don't want to know. Another thing that I can say, after going through the like Shinobu Doma fight, like seeing Ice and the way he conveys it, that shit was pretty. A very, very pretty sight to look on once again. I mean, truly, like, how can I say this? You know how, especially when it gets cold and the frost or the ice gets onto a flower, like, it looks very pretty and so, you know, crystallized and stuff. That's how I can say that what it looks like and stuff. Or think about how in Sailor Moon, how the Imperial and Silver Crystal looks like. That's kind of what I was getting with, like, the water lilies or the lotus flowers or anything, truly. Because, like, the man, even though I hate Doma right now because of the fact is he killed Shinobu and such, but still honestly fuck him. Now, going on to his backstory, I thought his was interesting, but if I had to compare to Akaza's is like a hell of a lot better. Looking at how it was conveyed, especially because he's supposed to be like this, and I'm using this in my terms and stuff with a little bit of what he reminded me of, this child of God or a prodigy-esque. Think Ymir from AOT with her backstory and such, and then, you know, how people were always coming for help, prayer, forgiveness, whatever. Basically, like, turning to him for, like, oh, hey, something's going on, you know, what should we do? Because in a way he looks like a god. Like, he's like the cutest little thing when he was a kid. And seeing him that way, and he was like, I don't feel anything. Like, I never got these, like, essentially godly, like, thoughts or moments when I was around these people and such, da 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 da, and everything. And it was very interesting to see that. But then I also hated, especially when we got to a point where Shinobu was like, this is her, I can't say the word right because I'm gonna fuck it up, but her robe, she says, this is the robe, like, you recognize this, don't you? This is the robe, this belonged to my sister, you killed her. It took him a second to remember her sister, and then instantly he was like, oh, okay, like, one track mind, I want to talk about something else, like, F your sister. My god, the girl went off, like, the girl literally, I'm gonna take a pin better than the freaking thing. Like, imagine my camera is his eye. She goes like, I'm gonna do it with my finger, like, bam, like that, right into his eye. Put a good ish on his behind. And that ish, I just literally, like, that, like, with the audience that I was with, everybody was like, oh. My mother was even like, oh shit. Which was just hilarious. Like, you may get, like, a couple of good moments out of my mom, and when you do, like, that's when you know, like, you did good in my opinion. But truly, just a good fight for part one. But whatever the heck we're about to see, I don't even know what the frick is about to go on. Okay. Let's talk about probably what a lot of people will say is the best, like, they may say it's the best fight for them, but for me it's the second best, because obviously Zenitsu. His fight, I was not, number one, expecting seventh form, especially for someone like that, because remember, especially, he's going against someone who he considers his family brother esque. And the fact that, we now know what that freaking letter said, because for the longest time, the longest time, I had always wondered, well, yeah, why is he talking? What you reading? Like, what you reading? Like, we need to know. And especially when the last time, like, both him and Tanjiro talked, he was like, you focus on you, da 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 da. And I thought that was weird, because I was like, that's not like Zenitsu. And then you get to the last couple of minutes of the season, and you just see how this boy was locked in. He wasn't even a boy anymore. He was a man. He was on a mission to be like, I am avenging my grandfather for what this person did to him. Made him K-word himself and such, which is the most messed up thing. Like, truly, that, like, broke me, because I was just like, oh my god, like, damn. Because especially when you look at old episodes, especially their history and everything, it's like, yeah, he didn't like him because, oh, hey, Gramps is warming up more to him, like, oh, you're supposed to be like Zenitsu was number one and he was just second, like the second fiddle ish. You're not the you're not the star, you're like the you're like the runner up. And that's why he truly, hated him for, like, the longest freaking time. And I was like, dude, like, damn, Kayaku, like, you up here, but you need to be down here. Like, I was just like, dude, but mind you, like, truly, if I do go see this again, I might go have to see it in dub, just to hear Alex Lee, and just like, oof, big oof, sorry, big fan, had to say that. But baby's wit in. When he did that seventh form and he came in and just sliced that head like butter, I was just like, proud of mommy. I was like, finally, oh my god. Because it's one of those moments, especially, like, the way it looks and how he goes up. Like, he goes, there's lightning everywhere. There's thunder everywhere. Like, it's like, okay, imagine when you're literally, okay, no, because I can't say that. Imagine if you have a car and you're boom basing with your big behind speakers and such, and you just feel them vibrations in that moment, especially with the sound and everything, like, jittery. and you're like, your heart is going like this and stuff, and my heart was just like racing the whole entire time because I'm like, dude, what the hell is about to go on and go down? He like shoots up after falling and such. Literally, whole freaking body lit up, and he just goes in like a damn dragon and up, and then slice, and then head is just going down. He falls. He is falling, and mind you, homeboy's already dying because, you know, regardless, head chopped off. And this fool has the audacity to say, well, oh yeah, you're falling as well, so you know what? You're gonna die too. So hee ha ha, I freaking win, even though I'm dying in this situation. You're still gonna die too. Like, you can't survive this. And then lo and behold, here comes Tomoyo's assistant, just like, oh, you thought? Like, oh, I'm not letting this kid die. Like, no. Like, oh my god. Like, no, just when Zenitsu came on screen, my baby boy, he meant business. He was like, I'm gonna get this ish done. And it felt like, as I said, I'm gonna get this ish done, even if it kills me. There was a moment where I thought he was going to die. And I was like, damn, if he dies, at least he goes out and he accomplished the one thing that he needed. But then the other thing that also set me off is and it seems like there's a moment where he's in purgatory, and of course you have I think it's the spider lily flowers like all over, and his Gramps shows up, and his Gramps acknowledges him, and it's like, to finally hear someone say, I'm proud of you, and acknowledge him, I cried. Like, I mean, I already cried like a baby with Shinobu's death, but I was over here like, and my mom's like, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, shut up. It's just like, I know, like, I'm just truly, like, for how far Zenitsu has come from the opening to possibly being criticized as like one of the like majority of people who were like, oh, I like his character, but da 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 da, or people who are like, I don't like his character, whatever and such, to now like on that badassery scale, baby is number one. Like, truly, I was flabbergasted. And I'm just like, with the way it kind of ends for him and how he was being caretaken by like Tomoyo's assistant and stuff, and he seems okay, but because of the fact is I have not read the manga, like I don't know. So it's like I'm sitting here questioning, especially when I got out and they're showing everyone else and, you know, aftermath for everybody else and shit like that. We'll talk about that in a moment. But seeing him, I was like, is he dead? I was like, is he gonna be okay? Are we going to see him do anything else? Or is he just out for the count and such? And that's what it seems like. Now, I will say, let's see, I gotta go back to my, not Giyu. It's the other brothers. It's my, like, he's kind of my least favorite character, but only because he's like an asshole. Sanemi, him, and freaking Genya. Okay. Here's the portion, because it's not only those two. We've already talked about the Inosuke situation. I'll even put Nezuko in it too. And I'll even put Michiru and Himejima. So those several characters that I just listed, they are, once again, adding with Inosuke as well, they're only here like for a couple minutes. And like I said, that's why I was like very iffy, where I was just like, okay, they're here. They're doing their own fights, or they're running around and such. Or like, that's the same thing for Mitsuri and freaking Iguru. They have like a really good moment. Those two, after falling together and ish, and you know, she's fangirling over him. She has her freaking sword that has a heart on it. And I was like, oh, like, damn. And then we get to the end of the movie, and I was like, that's it? Like, they didn't have anything. they didn't do anything. I was like, what? They had a couple of fights. A couple of moments. Yes, here, a gun. And then, you know, we're running around the whole entire time. And so that's when I was, once again, as I said, I was like, okay, they're going to be the pivotal moments in movie 2 and movie 3. So I was like, all right, they are the calm against the storm with whatever the heck they're going into. So I was just like, okay. But I thought that crap was like hella messed up because I was expecting a lot more for their characters to pop up because the next thing you know, like, for freaking Genma, he's trying to look for his brother. Like, the whole entire time when he, like, when you first see him, after he fell, wherever the heck he fell from, he is running around. Aniki, 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 where is he? Okay, once again, gun, Aniki, Aniki, Aniki. And I was like, where are they gonna meet up? And I was, and you know, once again, you get to the credits, and I was like, they haven't met up. I was like, where are we going with this? So that's when I was just like, okay, yeah, movie 2 and movie 3. That's all I gotta say about them characters and such, but I get it. I truly, truly get it. I disliked it, but I get it. And it's just like, god damn, because whatever okay, number 1. Let's talk about, it's not Doma. It's he's not even in here. His name isn't even in here. Oh my god. I'm gonna spell his name, okay? Kokushibo. That name. The one who basically has every single time when I look at him, because he creeps me the hell out in a good way. Literally, his eyes from the top of his head all the way almost to the bottom. He probably, like, his character and the way he looks and his art design is demon wise, like, probably one of the best. He looks so badass that it's not even funny. When he pops up, because he doesn't show up like until the end of the film. Now, mind you, of course, everybody except Doma, because Doma's not dead yet, because obviously something tells me he's dying between Canal and hopefully somebody. Like, I feel like the only other person who could reach her because of where she is, I would, god, I don't know, because everybody is everywhere. Who I would like to see her fight with is Zenitsu, but because Zenitsu got so much ish in this first movie, like I said, I feel like he's out for the count. Like, he's like, all right, time out. You're sleeping for the rest of the film. So if it can't be Zenitsu, and I don't know where the hell Inosuke is in this situation because he's somewhere. And it can't be Tanjiro because we'll get into reasons in a second with that. If I could, oh god, if I could say one person who I probably would want to see be there going against Doma with her, probably Mitsuri and Inanoki. Nope, Iguru. Them. My characters are getting mixed up. Because I feel like those 3 together, that's 3 against 1. So, obviously, I'm not going to say, like, yay! 3 against 1. But, looking at it, the odds would be in their favor. And such. But, you know, I thought that was Shinobu, and then look what happened to her. So, looks could be deceiving. So, we'll figure that out in, like, the next 2 years. I might be wrong. You might be coming back and being like, hey, Deidre. Hey, Queen. Good guess, but no. Okay. So, but yeah, like, even with her, she comes in after Shinobu dies, and, you know, they have their on-screen fight. Not on-screen, off-screen fight. And the next time that we see Doma is literally after Akaza gets killed. And he was like, oh, snap. Like, I don't feel his presence anymore. And such. And that shit was, like, nuts. Once again, we'll get there when we get there. And you see her, uniform's already tattered. scratches, pulls, rips, tears, whatever. And it's just like, she's probably been fighting him for maybe like the majority good hour or two. And I'm just like, damn, like, can she keep this up? Are we about to have like literally another death in this like super duper quickly? Because the way, once again, how Shinwu dies, like, she just gets absorbed into him. And that, like, I mean, I'd rather have that than her body laying up in the room. But it still hurts because it's like you kind of want her physically to be there, and something tells me we're going to have a moment where it's like, oh hey, ghostly figure pops up, helps her, goes defeat, go fight one, yes, but I'm not sure. That's what it truly just scares me as of right now when I'm just thinking about it, because I'm like, dude, like, what are we gonna do? Because I don't know. I just don't. And that's what I'm scared about. But no, my personal favorite fight overall, once again, was Tanjiro Gyu and Nakasa. This fight, to me, I think if we would cut it out like chunk by chunk by chunk, this fight felt like hours. And it probably was, you know, mind you, it's nighttime and stuff. Because first, like, it's Tanjiro and Gyu, they're running. And there's a point where, and I did not think this was going to happen, because I kind of learned it the same night when I got home. And because I didn't believe it at first. Or no, someone at me, or I found something, I don't remember what it was. Because for the longest time, going back to the master and his wife and his kid, I always thought the master had 2 kids. AKA the 2 kids who died that night with him and his wife in that explosion. No, this fool was smart. Very, very smart. He had 3 other kids, 2 other girls, and a son. To literally stay, like, on standby with the crows and with everybody else in the freaking demon corps and such, literally mapping the hell out of this castle to literally show out, okay, this is kind of where such and such is. This is where he is. This is where she is. Okay, everybody, like, kind of go to this pivotal point because this is where Tanjiro is. You need to find Tanjiro and such. Basically, because the crows were like the crows were the stars of the film, because they was over here like, ha, and flying around. Like, it got worse when the freaking crow comes in. It's like, oh, deceased. Shinobu. Konjo Shinobu, deceased. They show her and stuff. We're gonna be going back to that a lot, aren't we? I mean, truly. But no, like, just, like, even there was a point, Gyu looks at the crow, and the crow was wearing this paper around its neck and stuff with a symbol on it, and that's mainly translating to the master's son and his kids, and being like, okay, doing the map. And then you're seeing all these people, and mind you, going outside, you see Uzui. And you see Rengoku's dad, which I did not think he was going to show up for, like, the longest time. And that, it made me happy that, you know, after everything that he's been through, this man was a freaking drunk and such. And really just the history that he's had with his son. And losing his son, him and his other son, his youngest son and such. And the fact is that he's like, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that nothing is going to harm these kids or just anyone, because of the fact is, like, once again, I think he possibly sees Rengoku through, like, within all of them and such. So never, you don't want anything happening to him. But I'm going to say this. Seeing freaking Tengen sitting there. Now, mind you, because the fool is retired. And I get it. I fucking get it. But this is one of those moments where, like, I saw him and I was like, damn, I kind of wish you were here. Because maybe if he was here, maybe things wouldn't go the way that they're about to go. For example, Shinwu dying. whatever the hell is about to happen in movie 3 and such, because of the fact is, like, we know, I think on the power scale, maybe, like, he has to be in top for the Hashira. Like, Hashiras are, like, they're the elite of the elite and such. And the fact is, it would be better if some Hashira would work with others and such. It just would have been fucking cool if he was there. That's all I wanted. But I get it, because it maybe would have been a little too OP on standpoint. But it's like, because that kind of reminded me of freaking Kadaka, or just like any other person, excuse me, in a series, or like, no, let me give you the real good comparison. That ish reminded me. Remember in freaking not Stone Ocean, Golden Wind. For JoJo. Remember when what's his face said that he wasn't going to follow Bachati and stuff, and he was like, I'm labeling y'all as traitors, you're doing this all for a woman. If his behind had a went, everything would have been avoided. Nobody would have freaking died. Maybe somebody would have died, couple of characters, but we would have had a better ending and Bachati wouldn't have died, okay? Bachati wouldn't have died. Everybody wouldn't have died. Everybody would have lived if Homeboy had gone. That's this case scenario. If Tengen was there, I don't think everybody would have died the way they died. I don't know who is dead as of right now, except the one. My baby. So, once again, but seeing him here for like 3 seconds was very interesting. So, I'm kind of hoping going into movie 2, he kind of has something as well. Now, going back into the fight. So, once again, Tanjiro and Giyu, they're running down a hallway, and you can see, like, the overhead of a map. It goes kind of really transparent. We're going to use that word again later on. And you see this, like, thing coming down. Like, this big, it's like an orb-esque. But something is coming down at the same time. Long and behold, it's Rengoku's boyfriend coming down, being like, hey, yo, how we doing? And such. And I'm just like, oh, God. Oh, God. Seeing him, seeing Akaza again, literally after 5 years. 5 long years since COVID. It was like seeing an old friend, but you just didn't want to see him because of the fact it's just like, damn, you killed somebody who I really got attached to. And once again, as saying that was truly crazy to witness, because I was like, damn, I did not think I was going to get attached to Rengoku like as quickly as I did. And I did. And he like gets all up into Tanjiro. Like, he pops up and shows up. And mind you, Giyu is like, if Giyu's right here, this is Tanjiro. And then here's Akaza, like, right up in that face. Like, not really, but it's like, yeah, hey, yo, how you doing? And all you hear is, like, freaking Tanjiro just screaming his name. And I was like, oh, shit, it's about to go down. Now, there's a portion where, like, he goes, like, bam, to Tanjiro. He goes back. There's now a point where he's going strictly against Giyu for the longest time. And Giyu, like, Akaza, you know Akaza, he's like, oh, hey, I like your style. I like how you fight. What's your name? Giyu is over here like, I'm not giving you my name at the time of the day. And that shit made me, like, freaking laugh out loud. I think it made a lot of people laugh out loud. And then 2 seconds later, Giyu-san! And I was just like, oh my God. The one time, I do not want you to call his name. And he's like, oh, Gil! And I'm just like, no. Like, oh, God. Like, truly, I was like, oh my God. Like, baby boy, just shut the fuck up. Like, the one time where you just like, knock on wood, bro. Like, no, stop, please. Oh my God. Like, don't. Do not. But their fight, especially with how they did it, truly elevated. There was a point where, like, towers were coming up. Akaza's on one. The camera pulls out while the tower is going up. So like I said, Akasa's on one, freaking Giyu's on the other one. It expands to the point that more towers are pulling up and there's water coming out of it. And these two are just going at it. Bing, 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 going down, falling. Tanjiro trying to catch up and like as best as he could and such, because once again he wants to get into the action, but you know he's not as fast. But eventually when he does catch up, there's a moment where they stop and Giyu is just going in on this like, oh my god. And it got to a point where it got, like, I think Giyu gets knocked out or something. I don't really remember. And Tanjiro is trying to think of, like, how mainly to defeat Akaza and stuff. And, like, I'm sitting here wondering, like, how the heck are you going to do this? Because if Rengoku couldn't do it, how could you? Like, how can you? And I was just like, how the fuck is this going to go their way? Mind you, since now Giyu is knocked out, he's focusing strictly on Tanjiro. There's like this point where they go somewhere else and they have this conversation after fighting, and Giyu starts to see his past memories, specifically of his sensei and his dojo master. And at first I was like, okay, we're going there now. So mind you, still sitting here more and more. There's a point where he like stands there and he feels someone like touch his shoulder. He turns around, literally starts to kind of have a conversation with him, but then he punches like the air. And Tanjiro's like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm over here like, okay, all right, what the fuck? And such. But I heard this dude speak. Once again, I heard this dude speak. And I heard this voice line. And it wasn't of how he said it. It was really who said it. Who this person is voiced by. So, now, picture lovely Deja in the movie theater. Sitting here for about a good 20-30 minutes. Like, you know, sitting here like really truly thinking like, is this who I think it is? And such. Mind you, this is also the character that Channing Tatum is currently playing in the dub. And I love the fact that they have him in this, because I was not expecting Channing Tatum, because obviously his kids are a fan of it. But I thought that was sweet. And especially when you have someone as people who are big and who really truly care about a show like this or just any anime, like just to have them there is always like the sweetest thing. But like I said, until we like get more and more into Akaza's backstory, which we get there. So we get to the point, finally, where Tanjiro goes, like, into his backstories and his memories and such. He's talking to his dad. We're going to come back to the Akaza stuff in a minute. Talking to his dad. His dad is weaving him, like, you know, the wool shoes that he wears in the snow and such. And this was, mind you, from around this point, 10 days before his dad died. And there was a bear attack. And I think he was asking him about, I can never say the first word, but Kagura is the next name. It's basically the one move that Tanjiro uses like all the time and such. So he wanted to know like how to enhance it and stuff basically. So later on that night, he wakes Tanjiro up. They're going up the mountain, basically like just walking. And I was wondering what the hell is going on. Now mind you, like I said, the bear attack. And bears were attacking and killing families and everything. And they're in the forest. The forest basically has like a whole bunch of rope and some bells on it just to like alert so that people can hear. Because you know, his dad finds the bear and straight up murders the bear. I mean, we went in and I go, my God. I was not expecting his dad to do that, but it's just like, oh my God. And especially, you know, Tanjiro's just a baby at that moment and such. And he goes towards this place and he told him like, the next time that you like want to do something, think about that and such. And that also helped him in defeating Akaza. It's like, as we describe it, as I said before, the transparent world, which was very interesting to see because he goes on like another level. It kind of gave me feels to like godhood, or we could say not like him being like his own god or ish like that, so not like Death Note in a way, but this man was like, hold on, oh, 1 second. I'm recording. I'll call you back in a few, okay? I'm talking about Demon Slayer. Um, he goes into this just type of feeling where he can just see, you know, body movements, forms, and everything just going. And I was just like, oh damn! Like I said, if I could compare it to something else, there's like a portion of My Hero where like Deku goes into that moment or something similar to it, and I was like, oh okay, interesting. Um, and such. But during all of this, with the fact before, Giyu got ish, Giyu got his mark, and I wasn't expecting him to get his mark, but no, he baby did his big one, and I was just like, and it looked so good on him and such, and it's just like, damn, like you've done so much throughout this whole entire series, and it's just like you're here in this moment, and I'm just like, yeah, I felt like a proud mommy when he got it, and I was just like, oh, yay. God, like, yay, baby boy, oh my god. But it's just like, right now, I need you to kill this mofo for not only me, but also for Goku. But, so, we get to the moment. Okay. So, Akaza comes up to Giyu. Literally breaks his sword. He has nothing but, like, the second half of the sword and such. Now, Tanjiro's knocked out. Because, literally, Akaza, like, punched the crap out of him. And, like, literally, he hit the wall and everything. So, he was out for the count. So, majority of the fight went back to him and Giyu. So, eventually, Tanjiro wakes up due to the transparent world and everything and focusing and stuff. So, mind you, like, this moment. Here's, like, we'll pretend I can't speak. We'll pretend I'm Akaza right now. So, behind you, slowly but surely coming behind me, is Tanjiro. Like, within the shadows and everything. So, you see his silhouette. And Giyu was like, okay, go for it. Like, do it. Like, you got this. Like, cut his head off. Here comes Tanjiro saying, Akaza, I'm gonna cut you, slice your head off. And I was like, the one thing you didn't want to tell him to do, or tell him to say, you say it. I was like, I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I was like, why would you say that, baby? I was like, you had the advantage in that moment that you could have just sliced that head off clean. We could have been done with this and we could have moved on. But finally, there's a point where they do slice that head off. And I was like, we're done. The movie's over. We can all go home. Roll them credits. Well, credits didn't roll. Credits did not fucking roll at that moment. His head got cut off. But the body started moving. Was still moving. And such. And I'm over here like, time out. Throw that flag in the flag. What do you mean he's still moving even though his head is cut off? I was like, is he trying to be like nosing up in this bitch right now? Like, are you, excuse me? So then he, like, literally me and Tanjiro had like the same thought. Like, okay, somewhere else on his body is where he can be destroyed. Now, mind you, at the same time when all of this is happening, slowly but surely the backstory comes in. So going into this, typically when you, and I'm not assuming this with every demon, it's just from like looking at the two demons from the Entertainment District arc and now essentially Akaza. I can't really remember the kid who was the spider in the first season. Pretty much everybody is poor for our knowledge. And then, hey, here comes Michael Jackson here. I'm going to save your life and I'm going to give you more purpose and such, after losing everything. So, mind you, he's already stealing. His dad is sick and slowly dying. Like, there was a moment where they showed his dad's body. And even it being animated in that form, that's something that I it's one of the like disturbing things to see, because I was like, damn, I didn't think they would go that far, but they went that far for just to show how bad he was and how sickly he was. So I understood it. So Akaza was doing a lot of things to help people that he cared about, specifically at the time, his father. He would steal, he would do this, he would do that, and he was getting punished for it a lot. He was getting whipped and beat and such. The tattoos that he got for his crimes and everything, he got to a point that he was exiled and such. And he comes home one day to find out from his neighbors that his dad killed himself. And that was very gut-wrenching to hear, because it's like, damn, like he was just here and he was taking care of him and everything was fine and such. They weren't living a lavish life, but they had each other, and now this kid is alone. So eventually, you know, he just starts fighting like his neighbors and everything. So here comes, you know, this sensei, aka what I like to call him, his like future savior, his second father figure in a way. So he takes him home, and mind you, he also has a sick child. So we go from a sick dad to a sick kid, and his daughter is like she had to be like a couple of years younger than him. And mind you, the whole entire time he said, hey, I'm working, but I'm also still taking care of her. So, but he made, Akaza like basically caretaker of his daughter. Like, hey, take care of her, take her out, you know, basically help her. So during that, like, those pivotal moments in the last few years and such, he had a really good bond with the master's sister. I mean, not sister, daughter. And it was cute. Like, they kind of had a little, like, the cute little romance and stuff. And you're rooting for them before, you know. It's like, are they going to end up it together and such? Like, we're going to get this happy ending, even though, you know, situations and such. And it got to a point where so many years later, she was 100% better. She was able to walk on her own, and they would hang out. And he has a purpose now. And he is getting trained by his sensei and such. Like, he has happiness in his life once again. And there was a neighboring dojo that really disliked both him and his master and such. And no matter how many times that they fought, this neighboring dojo would always lose. So eventually, there's this moment where like his sensei says like, hey, you know, my daughter likes you, you know, get married and such. And like, yeah. And so there's a point where they're walking together, and she basically asks him, and he says yes. I'm like, oh, they're gonna get engaged and everything. Yay! Like, oh. So, you know, he goes to his dad's grave. I gotta hurry up because I'm at 53 minutes now. He goes to his dad's grave to tell him like, hey, you know, I'm older and I'm wiser and I'm gonna get married and I have this happy life with this girl. She's sweet, and, you know, I'm proud of myself, and I hope that you are too. So he comes home, and you could tell like this is when it was just like it turns for the worse. So the neighboring dojo that like cannot stand them, that literally every single time they come and they lose and stuff, they decided to want to up him. And they poison the well water. And because he didn't know, he lost not only the love of his life, but like his second father figure. So that hurt even more. You lose your dad, like, that hurts. But to lose someone who is like a second father figure to you, plus the love of your life, like, so freaking quickly after like everything that was about to change for him and such, like, I felt for him, and, you know, even crying out about it, like, it still fucking hurts. So he goes on a rampage to like the neighboring dojo, and he just brutally kills everyone. Truly, like, in the worst way. This dude went in, like, we had punches and everything, blood everywhere, like blood on the walls, bones, popping, spewing, anything that you can truly think about. It got to the point that portions of bodies were missing. And this is how angry he felt. Like, this was a gruesome scene. Truly. And they had a warrant out for him and such. So he's already left the dojo. He's already killed everyone. And lo and behold, here comes Muzan. And he was thinking that, like, a demon was over here, essentially killing all these people. And he was like, oh no, it's just a mere human. How funny. And Akaza is just, like, truly upset because of what all happens. And he was like, you know, get out of my way, you know, before I do something to you. And Muzan just comes and just, like, if this is his head, if this is Akaza's head, this is what he does, like, truly. And he's like, he basically injects his blood into Akaza, and that's how he becomes the way that he becomes. I'm gonna stop right here. We're about to go into part 3 because we are so close to like an hour that it's not even funny. So give me 1 second. Continuing where we left off. So yeah, eventually after that, you know, he absorbs his blood ish, and you know, he becomes the person who he becomes and such, and you know, goes on this big ass rampage and everything. Eventually, after Tanjiro and Giyu finally defeat him and such, and you know, he has his head fully chopped off and stuff, as we said, there's a moment he kind of smiles and such, and that's when I initially thought, like, oh shit, like what the fuck is about to happen? Like, is he trying to say like, oh hey, he's winning? Because you know, head was coming back, slowly but surely and such. But there's a point where he's done. He's truly like, this battle's done. They've won. I've lost. His body is slowly regenerating, and he's trying to stop his regeneration. And so that kind of gave me a moment where he's like, okay, he's coming back to his human side. And it doesn't really like reassure you that you're right until he finally has that moment where he sees his dad again, where okay, he's a spirit, his dad's a spirit, but Tanjiro's looking at him and his body is like, you know, holes here, holes there, or whatever, and you're sitting here like, okay, what the hell is he looking at? What is he doing? Da da da, this is that and the third. Is someone else sending me stuff? Oh no, it's just Twitter. And then eventually his former fiance and his we'll say that his father-in-law, we'll say that too, sensei Esh, you know, first the sensei shows up, and eventually they, you know, he finally realizes that he apologizes, that and the third, and he's like, I can't take you to heaven, or we can't take you to heaven. And it's like, of course, obviously, with all the things that he did. So his fiance comes, they hug, they embrace, and it's such a good, heartfelt moment. And you know, if if I didn't cry, I didn't cry at that moment, but I really wanted to cry. So if I had a reaction of it, I probably would have been crying my butt off really bad, because it's just like they finally found each other again. And she's like, hey, you remember us, because for the longest time, like, they were both trying, including his dad, to be like, stop this, like, recognize me, you know, it's me, someone that you cared about. Because of course, you know, with all these people becoming demons, like, they kind of forget their past life. This is their focus, is their new life. So with him remembering, his human side is coming back, and it's just like one of the most happiest moments in the film, besides everything else, because it's like he's truly at peace once again. And it's nice, and it's just like, oh my god. But because of the fact is, we know all the bad, all the killing that he's done, he can't go to heaven with them. So what she does is, in the embrace, she goes to hell with him to burn eternally, because she loves him. And once again, I ain't crying, but I was crying in the back of my mind because I was just like, that's the love that she has for him, that she's willing to go anywhere. I mean, it's like, I wouldn't say it's like how Homegirl from Danmachi was about Belle. Like, that's an obsessive love. We don't talk about that love and such, because that's something. That's something, because remember when she was like, if he dies, I die too. I mean, and basically you could say it's that, but they're together and that's all that matters. And that's what I wanted for him. Once she showed up again and just being like, remember me. I need you here with me. So, after all of that, woo, yeah, my boys won. My boys won. My babies won. And I was a happy, happy girl. I was just like, thank God. That's one down. They can do this. They can really defeat these upper demons and such. But at the same time, it took a lot out of both of them. They both are currently, as of the end of this movie, Tanjiro is like knocked out of sleep. Giyu, he's knelt down. He's leaning on his sword. With the way it looks like, he was like, oh my God, like these two look like they're fucking dead. And the crows come up. And it's already emotional as all it is and stuff. And it gets worse. When the crows say something and they voice their opinion. And they're over here like, one of the crows is like, you. And the other one's like, Tanjiro. And I'm just like, oh God, we gotta wait 2 years for that. I was like, I can't do it. I was like, y'all, I was like, this is it. This is it. I was like, we gotta wait 2 fucking years to figure out if these two are gonna wake the fuck up. And such. But like I said, going back to I'm guessing he is upper 1. Let's look that up real quick. Let's look that up without getting spoiled on anything. Will I get spoiled? I don't know. How do you say his name? We're gonna find that out too. State browser. Kokushibu? I think that's how you say his name. Okay. We'll do Kyokyu. Okay. With him popping up at the end of the movie, which was whoever he is voiced by, you're doing good. Okay? You're doing good. I have a feeling I know who he's going to be voiced in dub, so we're probably going to have to look that up, probably after I'm done recording this and such. Like I said, we get to that portion where, of course, him and Doma cannot hear or feel Akasa's presence anymore. And so they're like, oh shit, it's about to get real. This dude, he's standing in a room with pillars. And he literally, 2 seconds. At first, 1 minute, sword comes up, you hear, but you don't see it. You hear shing, and you're just like, okay. And then freaking towers just crumble, and I was like, oh, this mofo need business. So all I'm gonna say is, whatever Hashira goes against that mofo, I need you to survive. For the blood of Jesus, please survive, because if you don't survive, we're gonna have problems. Because I mean, that's upper 1. That's the strongest of the strongest. That is freaking. That's some Goku Vegeta times Sailor Moon times any of the Pretty Cures and such. That's everything. Cause this dude is godly. That's freaking Eren with all the freaking ish that he did in the final season of Attack on Titan and such, or just any bad guy that you can truly think of when they're at peak OP, because I feel like this dude is about to be OP on the OP. Like I said, Musen's down here in that orb just absorbing, and Tomoyo is kind of slowly but surely getting absorbed as well. But whatever he's about to go into as well, I don't know what that is. Once again, he could be doing that ish that happened with freaking Gilgamesh. The ish that, that black thing that Sakura got absorbed into when she turned into Dark Sakura and such, and Sakura was over here like looking crazy eyed and everything. This might be times Dark Saber ish. I don't know anymore because it's just like, where are we going with this? Truly, where are we going? Where are we going? Truly, I'm scared because what is this man? What are these men capable of? What is he gonna do? Because he's over here, mind you, arms like this, legs are somewhere, and just fully engulfed in whatever he's about to transform. He might have look like Godzilla or something in the next two movies because what you doing? What are you doing? Because I'm just like, bruh. Where are we going with this? Truly, what the hell are you doing, Musen? Oh my god. But no, okay, so another part towards the end of the film, Infinity Castle turns into, and this is nuts to say, but like I said, if you've seen the dang movie, you will understand this. Infinity Castle turns into Infinity Cube into Infinity City in the span of seconds. Truly. I mean, with the instrument that one of the demons was playing, and every single time, opening or summoning up windows and doors and stuff, girl was going here bing, 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 and just changing everything. So Castle going into cube form, going into switching into this long narrow city, far as the eye can see, and changing the map. So I'm sitting here thinking well, damn, the map that they just did is basically useless now, because how are they supposed to pinpoint where everybody is again? And I mean, yeah, you have the crows, but how? Where are we going and such? How are y'all now going to pinpoint where such and such is? Where Zenitsu is? Tanjiro, not Nezuko, Inosuke, this character, that character, figuring out where any of these people are and stuff, with the fact that every 5 freaking seconds, this dang freaking demon over here is changing the map. My biggest thing is because she's an issue. Why hasn't anybody killed her? Movie 2. Movie 2. Somebody gonna find her and be like, yeet. This is gonna happen. But truly, like I said, the victory of the fact that Gyu and Tanjiro defeated Akaza just really, I think it sent a lot of people encouraging thoughts that once again, we can do this if we work together. I mean, even there was characters that they kind of got featured in the last episode where there were characters who they were falling, and I don't think they had names. So I kind of joked that several episodes prior to, I was like, oh, since y'all don't have any names, y'all are clearly gonna die. These boys were really there protecting both Zenitsu when he was knocked out, and Tanjiro and Tomoyo's assistant. And I love that because they decided to do their own Gyu's form and just slice a demon, and it was just so cute. And it was dang, yeah, y'all can't be like Tanjiro and the rest of them, but you're still here and you're still fighting truly, while all these Hashira are just running around. Majority of these kids, these boys, and our one girl is literally out here we want to prove with all these trainings that we did with you guys for episode 1 till now, everything that we've been through, this is game time for them. Once again, lives are at stake, lives are on the line and stuff. Y'all don't know if y'all are gonna make it to sunrise and wake up the next morning or go home and go freaking have I don't know, hot chocolate. I don't know why I said hot chocolate. Ice cream. Something. Damn, go home and have your favorite fruit or something like that. Or just being able to be out in the sunlight and smell the air again and such. Like, that's a weird thing to say, but still, any moment that they've had beforehand, like, you know, hey, taking it easy, whatever. But when we're at game time moment, game day, pivotal freaking moment, like, oh, this shit matters. Like, fuck yeah. So hopefully with those three, we get to see more of them in part 2 and 3. But I, like, truly, this ends with showing, like, everybody running around and just trying to find each other. Like, they showed this one final, like, moment after all the credits have rolling and stuff. Key moments for each character and such. Like, Nezuko, like I said, she was one of the other characters that popped up in, like, 5 seconds. She's laying in a bed, like, just somewhat sickly and such, but something tells me she's going to still have relevance in movie 2 and 3. I don't know what necessarily, but hopefully we get something for it. I'm not sure. If I could give predictions of 2 and 3 right now, is 1, Muzan dies. Muzan dies regardless. We all know that's going to happen. He gets slain. He does not come back. He does not find out that, you know, hey, here's the secret of surviving in the sunlight and concealing my identity of being a demon. What else would I like to say? Everyone happy, truly, and everyone having moments. I would love to see both, essentially the brothers who I'm thinking of right now. I need them for one of these 2 movies for him to acknowledge his brother and such. Yes, they don't have the greatest relationship due to their backstory, but I need him to just acknowledge. I hope nothing happens to either one of them to where it's like we get to the end of the movie, to movie 3, and they're just together and it's like, damn, we went through this shit together and we're closer than ever than I can't speak, than we were as kids. I would love to see, like, literally everybody at, like, Shinobu's grave, or just, like, a makeshift grave for Shinobu, and just being like, one, teary-eyed, because I pray she's the only Hashira that dies, that is currently dead besides Rengoku. But like I said, looks can be deceiving, and, you know, we don't have movie 2 or 3 yet, so I have to be positive. I hope Inosuke gets a lot of focus, a lot more. Because to me, like, because I love the hell out of Inosuke, and I hope he gets a lot of screen time in 2 and 3. Because it just, once again, he has his moments, but it's just like, I feel like they're doing it for a reason. Because it's like, oh hey, we're gonna have him do this, but you know, you can't show X, Y, and Z because of reasons, like whatever the hell is about to happen. I'm ready to see Doma die, truly, and I'm ready to see just anything. I expect by movie 2 and movie 3 to be odd, wowed, teary-eyed, probably screaming at the freaking screen, having my mother console me since she didn't console me during this film because she was asleep. Or maybe I'll go with a friend and such, or I'll probably just go by myself and just console myself and such. But something tells me, just like how when I finished Heaven's Feel, I came out a different person, and how I looked at that show, even because I love it to death still. But I think at the end of it, and especially with how everything was portrayed and conveyed, I will still say the Heaven's Feel movies are still like a personal favorite of mine. But if I had to choose a route, I would not choose that route. I mean, it's the most bloody route, and I feel like that's where we are right now. We're at part 1 of Heaven's Feel, where it's just like, hey, this is bloody, yes, but it's about to be bloodier. As I said, this whole movie felt like a big behind trailer for whatever the heck is about to happen in part 2. So, funny enough, movie 2 of Heaven's Feel was my personal favorite. So I expect that same level for movie 2 of Heaven's Feel to be for Infinity Castle Part 2 when we get there in 2 years from now. And who knows, maybe 2 years from now I might be right about my predictions. I might be wrong about my predictions. I don't know. 9 out of 10, it's in my favor where I am right or wrong. But whatever comes, honestly, I will never be ready for it. I'm never ready for anything, truly. Whether it's character deaths or just 7th, 8th, 20th form, whatever the fuck it's about to be ish. Probably art styles that we have never seen before for this series or anything. But truly, this was a whirlwind. We're just still at the start of this roller coaster, and it's not stopping now. So wherever the hell we are in the next couple of years with these next 2 movies, it's gonna be a fantastic journey regardless. And I really enjoyed watching this movie to the fullest and such. Like I said, I definitely would go see it again because it's one of those experiences that I would love to sit and rewatch again. Honestly, I cannot wait for this one to come out on Blu-ray because I'm gonna cop that and I'm gonna watch that in my room, like, probably too many times. I'm probably gonna have to buy me a damn sound bar and such just to get that movie theater experience, because it was wild. And if you have not seen this movie, please go see it. If you have, go see it again. It deserves all the money. I do hope, especially with cuts when it comes to money wise and stuff, that Ufotable does get the money that they do deserve, because once again, I haven't had conversations about money ass and stuff when it comes to certain animes and such, but all those workers, all those animators, they deserve every single freaking penny, and I hope they get it, truly, because God damn, truly. But it's been a journey and a wild run, and I truly cannot wait to watch this again. I don't know, I might react to it again when it comes out. I don't know, maybe not ish. I know some of y'all were really hoping that I would be a strong soldier and not watch this film, but I couldn't. I literally had to, because it was either go see it or I was avoiding spoilers for the longest time. And I don't know how in the world I would have done that. That's kind of like the current another situation of the next movie that's coming out in like a month is the Chainsaw Man movie. And I don't know if I will go see it or I won't, because it comes out like 3 days before Halloween or 2 days before Halloween. Unfortunately, I have to work and such, so I don't know. Maybe I'll be stupid and I'll go see it on Halloween night. That would be a very world one. Maybe I'll no, I can't even take time off. God, oh my God. I might have to do the same thing I did last time, but who knows? Pray for me that I don't work on Halloween. Like, I should not work on the last day of my birthday month. Truly. But other than that, guys, that has been my TED Talk of part 1 of Demon Slayer, the movie Infinity Castle. If you guys enjoyed it, please give me a like. It really helps me out. Also, subscribe to my channel. I make videos every single day. Join the Master Squad. And of course, I will see you guys. We're gonna go ahead and do like a little iffy thing too. Like I said, mind you, we're gonna try to do a lot of things. It's now 11:54 at night. I kind of got to get ready and go to bed. So I don't think I'm going to be able to record my other stuff as of right now. I'm really just going to have to edit this and just message the Patreon person that I'll have to do it tomorrow when I come home, and just immediately just release it and stuff and let them have it for like an extra, and a couple hours early or a couple hours late, and hopefully they're going to be okay with that. But I think a lot of shows are about to be over-esque. We're just gonna say F it and we're getting everything done, okay? Everything that I'm specifically watching. So do expect some stuff to come out this next week and the next couple of weeks. I have not even looked at what the hell I'm watching for fall and such, aka my worst season ever. I feel like this year was just not the greatest year for me, especially with work and such. Work has really killed me a lot, and I'm questioning a lot of things and such about that. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. We're gonna be positive and stuff. So hopefully we get what I want is coming truly. But like I said, yeah, especially expect some things to come out and such. I love you guys. Thank you all for watching or just listening to a tech talk. I hope you ate something. Truly, I think this is an hour-long video, so please tell me you ate something and such. Treat it as a podcast, because that's really what it was at the end of the day. Just me sitting here and just speaking for about a good hour and such, because what else am I supposed to do? But yeah, I will see you guys in 2027 for movie 2 and 2029, I believe, for movie 3. So all I'll say is, future Deja, you know, I hope you're satisfied with whatever the hell is currently happening with movie 2 and movie 3. I hope you get the ending that you want, and that no manga person has spoiled your ending and such, because with everyone who was left, we want a good ending. I don't want to be crying Deja anymore. I want to be happy Deja. And I want this show to end off on a happy note with no more dying. Fingers crossed. But until then, I will see you guys all next time. Bye.